Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Councilmember Brescher.
Here.
Councilmember Coyle.
Here.
Councilmember Deal. Councilmember Gomez.
Here.
Councilmember Joshi.
Here.
Councilmember Patil.
Here.
Council President Ship Freeman.
Present.
Bob Deal's not on, right?
Councilmember Deal.
He was having a problem with the connection. I'm just sending him the link again, the information again.
All right, thank you.
All right.
All right.
Adequate notice of this meeting, as required by the Open Public Meeting Act of 1975, has been provided by annual notice sent to the Home News Tribune, the Star Ledger, and the Sentinel, News India Times on December 13, 2019, and a special notice sent to the Home News Tribune on March 31, 2020, and posted in the Lobby Municipal Complex on that same date.
Okay, now I would like the reports from the committees, if anybody. Councilmember Brescher.
No.
Councilmember. All right.
None, did he say?
Yeah, he said none.
All right, wait.
You guys, sometimes you guys have to speak a little louder because even on the television they're having problems because you're not speaking loud enough.
Yes, if we did Zoom, it would be pretty clear, but we can work with it.
Yeah, we're working our way toward that. All right.
Okay.
Councilmember Coyle.
Thank you, Council President. The Beautification Committee had a few discussions. At this time, we're working on some improvements to several parks in Edison. Also, we just introduced the Mayor and Council Education Garden on Amboy Avenue, which is a 5x16 plot, which is almost completed.
Bob Deal here.
Okay.
Thank you.
In addition to that, we're requesting to the administration to have some community gardens throughout some parks in Edison and around. So that's something we're excited about. We'll take some time, but we're going to meet with some committees on that as well. We've also looked at some opportunities to improve the entrance coming from Highland Park into Edison, Woodbridge Avenue, coming towards Silver Lake, which that area has been adopted, and along the area where the Italian American Club is in Craig's Deli, all the way to Meadow Road, and as well as behind the old cemetery by the parkway there and Swales Park. So we're excited to have some new things happen. I want to thank the committee for support and also the administration for being at our side with these new improvements. Thank you, Council President.
You're welcome. Councilmember Deal.
Committee reports?
Yes, sir.
None, ma'am.
Councilmember Gomez.
No committee reports at this time. The Finance Committee meeting will be having the first meeting tomorrow, so we'll report at the next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Joshi.
Just that the Library Board Committee had met, and they are working to, the director is still finalizing the final plans for the grant application that is going in, and that's going to be completed and submitted before the next council meeting because there was an extension, that's all.
Thank you. Councilmember Patil.
None at this time.
Okay. Councilmember Ship Freeman, I've been attending the Housing Authority meeting, and they have been moving forward on different projects that they have for Julius Engel Garden and for the Robert E. Holmes Garden. And everything, it seems to be moving forward in a positive manner. All right. Now, with the points of light, we discussed that on Memorial Day, we had 3 additional streets named for our veterans for Edison. Everyone and every family were some were even super emotional about us naming streets after their family members who fought for our freedom. Also, we had our first meeting was at the Veterans Park right there on Stony. Was it Stony Brook? Stony Road. On Stony Road. It was a great day, and we counted out the amount of people that were there, so we didn't want to exceed what our governor wanted us to do. All right? Now, reminder, in June, we will, from what I understand, we will have Zoom meetings in June, okay?
Zoom meetings.
We have Zoom meetings in June at all. So, Councilman Brescher, you're going to be happy with that. All right. So now, let's go on for...
Let's just see the dates because they moved to Wednesday combined.
Okay. I got it. All right, let me tell you the dates. They will be, note these dates, they will be on Wednesday. It will be June 10th, and it will be June 28th. Both of them are combined meetings. So make sure you're aware of the June 10th and the June 24th meeting. All right. Moving right along. Number 6 from the business administrator. Any questions or comments from 6A to E? Yeah. Excuse me?
Council President,
Yes.
Councilman Brescher, I have a question. The introduction for the calendar years for the 2020 municipal budget and solid waste budget, these are just introductions at this point, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And then I had a question on the ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation C for the bank cap. My question with that is, since we don't have a budget that's approved, how do we know we're going to exceed that bank cap?
That's not for the current year, Councilman. We pass this ordinance every single year. I'm actually using the bank's money from 2017 and 18. This will be for next year's budget.
This would be, but what I'm saying is, why would we need to do this at this time?
It's just procedure of what we do to make sure that we keep the banks intact. You don't want to miss a year.
Okay. And then, so this isn't for us to use the bank cap at this time. This is just so that you get to keep the bank cap, so that
Correct.
possibly you could use it next year.
In future years, yes.
Okay. That's it from the business administrator.
Anyone else?
Anyone else?
Council President?
Councilmember Coyle? Yes.
Yes. I had just a question on D. To Maureen, what is our procedure for checks and balances of this open-end? I appear it's an open-ended $95,000 Lowe's credit line.
That's for the year, not to exceed.
Okay. And can you walk me through how that works and how someone from a department makes a purchase and how it's kept in for transparency?
It has to go through a regular fulfillment process, which is a requisition is put in the system. It then goes through purchasing. It's checked that the budget account monies are there, and then it's turned into a PO and process.
So it's still going through purchasing. Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Thank you, Council President. Thank you, Maureen.
Anyone else? Excuse me? Okay, that's why I always go to the budget classes they offer us. That's why. Thank you. Moving right now to the finance department. Number 7, A through C. Any questions or comments?
Council President, this is Councilman Brescher, and I have a question on C. This is for our third quarter taxes. Would that be the authorization for the same dollar amount that we've used in the prior 2 quarters? And then in the event that the budget passes, the taxpayers get hit with, the total increase in that last quarter?
The way it's set up, they allow the municipality to estimate a 5% increase, which we did in this resolution. So there is an offset for the fourth quarter, so it won't be the entire amount.
And the tax assessor needs to start this process now, or is that something that could wait?
Well, this doesn't really have anything to do with the tax assessor. This is just the amount by law that when you do an estimated tax bill, you're allowed to go up to 5%. Once we finalize the budget, whether it's lower or higher than 5%, that adjustment is made in the fourth quarter.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments in reference to finance? All right, moving on to the Department of Law. Number 8A, any questions or comments?
Yeah. Council President?
Yes.
Administration. For item A, can you walk me through the scope of work of that Integrity Realty for Little Avenue?
Councilman Bill Northcliffe. Yeah, Council President, do you want me to address it, or?
Let's address it because we send it out plain as we could send it out. So you address it now.
Okay. The business administrator may be a little bit more in tune with this, but let me at least start it. The idea is, I don't know if you remember the map, Councilman, of all those various properties, so that we can at least look at what it would cost to widen Little Avenue. There is, as I recall, 6 or 7 different properties that might be affected. So the idea would be to go out and let's get an idea of what that cost is going to be, and then we can come back to the mayor and council and advise, it's going to cost X amount of dollars, and, is this something we want to pursue? But if your question is what's the scope, it's like I said, 6 or 7 properties. I could probably find the email while we're on this call that's got the map in and shoot it to you just so you could see what it is.
I'm trying to come back to it in my comments at the end. I guess the question I had, and I don't have to answer now, was just if it was part of also an appraisal. There are 4 properties there, and was it part of an acquisition research as well, and the improvements to the road? Is it all in?
This is just to figure out. I'm sorry, Councilman.
What I'm asking is it all in scope of work, meaning finding out what the cost would be to do the land acquisitions, what it would cost to widen the road, or is it just
no, it's just land acquisition.
It's just land acquisition.
This is just land acquisition. Yeah, this is just an appraiser. Yeah, Integra Realty is Paul Beiser, who does our appraisal work.
Okay, no problem. Okay, thank you, Mr. Northcliffe. Thank you, Council President.
You're welcome. Any other comments? All right. Moving right. Number 9 from the Department of Planning and Engineering. 9A through G. Any questions or comments?
Council President, Councilman Brescher, I have a question on B, the resolution to release the final payment, I guess, for Mini D Deal.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
And I guess my question comes up with, I believe it was Councilman Coyle brought up at our last meeting, how do we know that the roads were patched and they're done properly? And I don't know, who stated it, but someone said something to the effect of, well, our engineer signs off on it. So my question for B is, did our engineer sign off on this here?
The question is, did the engineer sign off? I hope engineering's on, but yes, they do, Councilman.
Okay, then let me tell you where my concerns start. A few meetings ago, I brought up a concern that most of the molding was changed from like a bronze to like a white. And I brought up the two areas that weren't changed. And I was assured that it was going to be changed before we paid them. So what I did was about a half hour ago, I just drove down there and said, listen, it's right by my house, and we go down and check it. It's not changed. So then I looked through the documents, the bid documents, and it does specifically call for that, that molding to be replaced. So what did we pay the engineer to do this? And is he doing this with all the sign-offs? Now I have that concern that Councilman Coyle has. So as council members, for us to sign off on all these things, is there an avenue besides us riding around town looking at street repair and work being done, that we could be assured that the work is done?
I can't answer what you're saying. I would have to check into the item you're talking about.
Well, I would ask that this item be pulled, in particular. I don't want to pull them all today, but I'd like to come up with a way that we could be assured that in the future that we know that they have been inspected, and they have been. I'd like an answer from the engineer, if you can, at our next meeting, to explain how come this section of the roof or this molding wasn't done. Who was the person that went out there? If you can get to the bottom of that so that maybe we can get this corrected.
Councilman Brasher, this is Michael Okrepke on the line. I just want to verify that all the work was inspected in accordance with the contract. There are some items that, the layperson may look at the building and believe that certain items should have been a part of the contract or shouldn't have been, but what was a part of the contract was inspected. Regarding your specific question about the molding, I would have to look at the specific line item and get back to you with the specific answer.
Is there a way, in fact, Maureen, I just sent you a picture of the area, and I also sent you a picture of the bid document, being that I'm a layperson at this. And I would actually like to walk this site with the administration and with the engineer. And I'd like you to bring those bid documents. And when we get done, if I'm right, I'd like the engineer to kind of apologize about the layperson type of thing. He doesn't know me. I don't know him. But I'm telling you, the job was not done. It was not inspected. I've owned my own construction company in New York City for 30 years. I did work for every major corporation, Sony Music, Mount Sinai. So I'm well-versed in roofing and these simple things. And I'm telling you, it's missed. I can show you on your specs where it's supposed to be. I just sent Maureen a picture. But I'd like the engineer out there and the administration, because I'd like to have the answers in front of the administration. Can we set that up, Maureen?
Yes, absolutely.
And I'd like this pulled, because I'm telling you the work is not done.
Pull from here. If he wants, I don't know if you want to take it off or pull it for, pull the table it, if he can do that in the work session, or he wants us. He's going to do it in a regular session.
You talking about you want it pulled off the agenda in a regular session? In our regular meeting, because this is just a work session.
Yes.
So you want to?
So we'll wait till we'll wait until we get into the other, then you will be able to do that, okay? All right, but I'm highlighting it so we can go back to it when we get to the regular meeting, all right?
Okay.
Councilman President.
I got a question. Councilman Brescher, you're saying that this is the same vendor?
I'm saying that I read the bid spec. It shows where the moldings are supposed to be replaced. It gives you the specification for a certain type of molding used in that condition. And that when you look at Mini Beeville and you walk around the building, it has white molding all around except for two spots, one spot on one side and one spot on the other, that have the old flashing on it. Yet the bid specs call for it to be redone. So, yes, I want to walk it with the engineer. I want him to explain how come this isn't part of the bid when, as far as I can see, this is fully part of the bid.
Okay. And all right. Never mind. Thanks.
Council President, Councilman Coyle.
Yes, Councilman Coyle.
It's something I just want to recommend to you, Council President. And we don't have an answer today to the administration, but to both of you. Is it possible that, with technology today, you can take a photograph instantly and send us a digital photo? When it comes to the street opening permits and returning their escrow, is it, or to a job where they're replacing a unit, I don't expect to have a photograph of every, piece of molding, but is it possible we can have a photograph with the completion of a contract of what was done, and can we have a photograph of the street opening, that it was done properly? Last week, I only brought it up because it's challenging to find the time to go to all these sites and look at them. And I'm not questioning that the engineering doesn't get to a lot of them, but our past, over the last 5 years, there's been some work that could have been done better. And we spent a lot of money on repaving. I think through the administration and the mayor, we hit a home run on some great improvements to different areas that didn't cost us anything because of the utility repairs that were being made. But we do have that 5-year, road opening, and they should resurface it properly with that, with the heat sensor to connect the pavement back to its original condition. So it's something I'd like to just leave on the table. I'll speak to other council colleagues as well, but I just want to put that in your ear and to discuss later with the administration. Thank you, Council President.
Okay, thank you. So in short terms, you would like to have digital pictures of the project?
Correct.
When we're doing final improvement.
And my first thing is, if they open up a street and we're returning the escrow, I'd like to see the street opening final photograph. It doesn't have to be of all of it. It can just be a part of it. And if they're installing a major boiler, I'd like to see a picture of the boiler that was installed. I don't think it's asking much. I'm not here to nitpick over small values, but some of our values exceed, in the hundreds of thousands, and I think it's fair that the council deserves the opportunity to look at what was done. Thank you, Council President.
You're welcome. All right. So, and some turns we'll have a financial, if it doesn't exceed a certain amount, just like bid things, if it doesn't exceed a certain amount, you don't need a picture, but you need a picture if it exceeds the certain amount of money.
That'll be your discretion, Council President. The road opening is every road opening that is part of the 5-year moratorium we set for the new paving. I think it's fair we see. But when it comes to the repairs and replacements of you can set the limit on what that would be fair to. Because I'm open to what that administration would put forth. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Councilman Coyle. Now, from the Department of Public Works, 10A through E, any comments or any questions? All right. Moving right along, number 11 from the Township Clerk, A through C. Any questions, any comments? Okay, next, I don't know if you've met or anything. From the council, all right, can we have a report from Councilman Coyle for the planning board?
Council President, the planning board has not met in some time due to COVID-19, and I'll make that date available when it's confirmed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 13, unfinished business.
Mm-hmm.
You reached that, right?
No, you're just going to end. We have unfinished business.
Okay, we have unfinished business and ordinance for further consideration and public hearing for final adoption.
Any questions?
Any questions? Any questions pertaining to this one?
I would actually like to know if there's any council member that does not support this, and I'd like to know what the reasoning would be, if so.
Council President?
Supports it, yeah.
Excuse me,
Council
sir?
President,
Councilmember, that was Councilmember Joshi that just spoke. Now, it seems like I hear the voice of Councilman Fresher.
yes, that's correct.
All right, so,
Okay, I was going to say, to answer my council colleague's question, I'm voting no on this. I received the backup, I think it was on Thursday. It was a little difficult, being that we had the 3-day weekend to review that when I was reviewing actually the other budget that we got for the township. So I don't know that I feel comfortable in supporting it because there's some certain questions I have that, to me, when we're talking about our sewer and investing in our sewer, I believe, number one, the loops that we talked about on our water system need to be shut down first to make sure that you're not getting that as infiltration. I think you want to make sure that we have the meters being put in so we know that what our neighbors are paying. Like we talked about the pumping station in Metuchen that we split the cost at 50-50, but yet we only are supplying 25% of the waste through that pump station, and Metuchen is 75%. So, until I have all of those answers and get to look at that budget, I don't feel comfortable with voting for that today.
all right, we haven't arrived at a vote yet, but I thank you very much for your comments, Councilman Brescher.
Anyone else?
Anyone else? Any comments or questions? We go to Council. Well, Councilmember Brescher, you already said yours. At this particular time, I've seen that the pointage and the amount was kind of minuscule, and I've seen that it followed the pattern. So that's just my take on it at this present time.
Well,
all right, Councilmember Cardinal.
Council President, I would like to just ask one thing. I want to, not that I was on the committee, but to me this kind of seems straightforward. I'm looking at it, and related to your question that you had, township-wide flow metering, we're investing $400,000 into specific to flow metering and I&Y investigations for the year 2020.
Yes.
So we're investing a total of $3 million in capital improvements in addition to the other costs that we've already incurred because we have we have a new utility that we essentially set up.
Yeah.
But that item is $400,000.
Yes.
So, Councilor Brescher, was there anything else that you were concerned about?
No, actually, part of what you just brought up are some of the concerns, but it goes back to, let's say, a larger view of thinking. I received that document on Thursday, like I told you. Same thing like this budget that we have, right? There is no way possible for me to go through the budget, digest my questions, submit them to the administration, get those answers, and do that all in a Thursday, Friday, Tuesday, Wednesday, in 4 days. So because of that, Right, I'm not even done formulating my questions on that budget. So until I get those answered, I really can't move forward. Now, if it's some kind of an emergency, that it had to be done today, I don't know that that budget needs to be done today either. I would have preferred to have seen that budget and our regular budget and the waste budget where we get them, we get to digest them, we get to look at them, we get to submit our questions, we get the answers, and then they come up. This one here just looks like it's being pushed through. It's just my opinion. But because of that, I'm voting no because I haven't had the time to go through it like the other budgets that I have.
So is there any other person, is there any other council member that doesn't understand it? And again, the reason why the reason why I'm saying this right now is because, and I completely understand if someone did not get time to read it, it was a long weekend, and I understand that. But what I don't want is for a council person out of all 7 of us to just really vote no for no reason, because this is a capital improvement plan. 10,000 people voted in the township, and we needed to set up a sewer system. And whether you agree, and I get it, listen, the hardest thing, nearly impossible, that a politician can do is defend a tax increase. I get it. But what I don't want is for any council person here to justify, to be able to vote no on this without any reasonable explanation. Because this is a utility that we set up. The township knew about it. The township voted about it. The numbers are here. It's going up by 2 cents per gallon. The average impact is less than $30. I think it's about $25 for the entire year for the entire, for residents. It's a brand new system that we set up. So if that's your concern, I understand that. But and if that's your reasoning, I would be open to delaying this vote for the next time for you or maybe someone else to be able to vote for it. But I just can't. I hope that no one else plans to vote no on this.
This is Councilman Patel. Any councilman can have their own judgment on why. I'm not sure, Councilman Joshi, you are questioning why somebody will vote yes or no. It is up to the council member to make any comment before the adoption. And as we all know, we are in very difficult financial situation from the township standpoint of view as well as from the taxpayer standpoint of view. A lot of people have lost their job. A lot of people are unemployed. We don't know what's going to happen next. Even the dollar increase is concerning. Again, I'm not talking as a politician, but these capital improvements can wait. But again, I'm not going to debate. I'm not going to defend. Let every council member talk when the thing comes for adoption. One council person cannot say why you're voting no or why you're voting yes, and one person shouldn't be taking the decision to delay the vote. I will leave it to the council president. If she want to take the any opinion from the council member, if there are any concerns, and maybe that's the way to go.
Just 1 second. Can I just, Councilman Patel, you're correct, and Councilman Joshi, at this particular time, you cannot say that to another council person about their voting. It states that here right in the law. You can't say that you wouldn't do this and other stuff. You just have to stick to your opinion and why you would vote for it or why you vote for it. We can't hold other council people, how can I say the word for it, hostage or anything if they don't vote for something they don't believe in. Everybody has the freedom of the vote. We're not getting into political mode. What we're doing now is we're doing something to help the town, and I felt like that I personally, that's just me, I ran on the water, and I want to see the water taken care of, and the further I put things back, as you know, the more they cost. And so when you put off something and you put off something, the price just goes up. It does not go down. And I think, look, what I had stated earlier, down a penny that it would go up, which would go up even without COVID, is something that, I have to consider for myself. Each council person has to consider something for themselves. I cannot tell them, vote yes or vote no for this ordinance. And number two, someone said they didn't have enough time because of the other big budget. What you have to do is you have to put things in order. This thing was first because of the ordinance. The budget is just up for introduction. There's no great big talking. This budget right here, this humongous budget, it should have been put on the next page, and this should have been what we concentrated on from Friday until Wednesday. I know, and okay, I'll let you, everybody has a holiday on Monday, but hey, I worked on Monday. I went and I saw the veterans. I stood with them. I talked to them, and I also went to the veterans place on National Road. So, hey, and then I read the information because I thought it was of the utmost importance for me to read this information to be transparent and move forward with our township, with our water. Thank you.
Well, I understand that, Council President, and I don't. Look, I'll stand corrected. I should not. I perhaps should have used my words more carefully on that. But I'm a little surprised because Councilman Patil, you were part of, if I'm not mistaken, please correct me if I'm wrong, but you were part of this committee that set this up, correct?
That's correct, but again, you have to understand, these are the capital improvement we are talking about, and my position is let the individual council person talk when they want to vote. You cannot question other council people saying if no, somebody has to vote no, they need to speak up now. And council president really said that in the right way, that everyone might have their own ways of thinking. And to me, yes, I completely agree and believe in building the infrastructure, but it has its own time. Again, it's my personal opinion, and you might have your own opinion. If we are flourishing, if everyone has a job in a normal situation, absolutely, I would have been on board. But again, this is my personal opinion, and no one can swear with that, my opinion. Thank you.
So, all right, so as long as it's on the record that, I mean, you and I'm not sure who else was on the committee, I wasn't, for setting this up. And the reason why, again, I'm saying this is because here I am, I'm not part of this committee, but I was presented with this improvement plan, and I understand that we have a leakage issue. We as a council collectively voted, I have the votes here. It's like we ran up a credit card bill and we're not willing to pay for it now. I have the votes. We purchased a SCADA system. We purchased a GIS system. We literally ran up a credit card bill that we're now, certain members of the council are not willing to pay for, which is fine if you don't want to. But my point is this, that it's a 2 cent increase. And at the same time, I don't think, the public should know that in no way, it's not like anyone that's voting no for this, it's not like you're being more responsible because you said no to a tax increase. You're actually being irresponsible because Councilman Joshi,
Councilman Joshi, I need to interrupt you. You're crossing your line. You have your own opinion. The committee that was set has a very different agenda, and this council has approved $10+ million in bonding to set up this authority. This increase has nothing to do with the committee, and if you are trying to, make this as a political, you need to be very careful. You can have your own opinion, whatever you want to say that, but you need to be careful on what you are saying here.
On March 11th,
Council President, I'm going to say that I'd like to just respond that not having time to digest the information, not getting questions put together, and not getting answers to those questions is far from irresponsible. Now, my question is, I'm going to ask a question, and maybe my council colleague knows the answer. I don't know. I don't. We have this infiltration of water. Did the councilman know that we have loops in the water system where people could technically be stealing water, and then we pick it up on the sewer end of it? Did he know that the pump station in Metuchen? Does he know that we don't have meters in our other towns coming in? Because we don't know that our sewers are all leaking. That's an assumption. That is strictly an assumption. We don't know how bad it is. Does my council colleague know that our new water company, and I'm going to make up a number, but I believe it's correct, that 50% of the people don't get their water read every month because they can't get access? So just think about this. 50% of the people are on an estimated bill. You don't know whether that's related to your infiltration. And that's where I'm going with my questions. So to say that it's only 2 cents or any other, that it's irrelevant, and to question it and say it's irresponsible on my part, I'd like to throw that back and say I think it's irresponsible just to vote on it when these other items have not been shown to us and we don't know that they're being taken care of. And then you want an increase. So that's where I'm going with it. I'd like to get answers to those questions.
Okay, everyone.
Council President.
Your answer, and Councilor Brescher, your point is a little separate with what you're saying is you haven't had time to read it, and I accept that. But and I'm not disputing that at all. If you want more time, I'm okay with delaying this vote. But the rest of the question, it's in the packet. We have all of these answers.
Excuse me, Councilman Josie and Councilman Brescher. Councilman Brescher, we heard that 2 weeks ago. We've heard that, and Councilman Joshi, it was introduced 2 weeks ago. We understand that Councilman Brescher, because he's repeating and giving us the information that he gave us the last 2 weeks ago, and I don't want the discussion, because I've gotten complaints from people that we're repeating the same things over and over again, and I don't want the public to think that we're grandstanding. So after something has been repeated a couple of times, I would hope that we would, as council members, move on to the next item.
Okay,
I'm not trying to cut anybody off. I'm not trying to limit free speech, but when the information keeps getting repeated over and over again, it extends the time, and the public that we're focusing on, they send me letters and information and telling me this is, they like it that we're moving more swiftly with our meetings. They like it a whole lot.
Yeah, Council President, I'll make the motion to. I'm going to ask to delay this vote because I read the packet. If Councilman Brescher wants another week to read it, then that's fine.
Excuse me, sir, but we're in a work session. We haven't even gotten to it. We're in a work session. I haven't opened the meeting yet. Please, now. So let me call off the rest of the council members' names. If you have any other comments or questions, all right. We've heard from Councilman Brescher.
Let me
tell you, I'm sorry.
Done with that ordinance?
It's discussion items, all right? So, council member Brescher, discussion items.
Yes, I have 3 things. One is I'd like to thank Council President when I heard about that Zoom just now. I like that we're moving in that direction. I think that'll really kind of help us. Then I have a question. With our firemen that go to EMT service, I understand that they go and they assist at our EMT calls. Do they fill out patient care reports as per NJSA 26, colon 2K-67?
You would have to ask the chief of the fire department.
I'm here, Council President. Yeah, I'm here.
All right, you can answer him. Thank you.
The township doesn't employ firefighters as EMTs. If they have EMT certification, that's on them privately. Since 2018 in the contract, firefighter EMT positions have been eliminated. So as it sits right now, the town doesn't employ any firefighter EMT, so that's strictly on their own. And currently in their contract, we have to allow 2 of them to go get their EMT certifications if they seek to do that on duty. So as we run as a fire department, we're not recognized as a medical agency doing BLS or ALS or any of those things. So we don't fall under the Department of Health. So we're not required to report to them. We do just fire reporting, and that's what we cover. We don't come under the Department of Health. We're not an EMS agency.
Okay, so since we don't do like the EMT stuff, we don't have to fill out any of the reports, correct?
That's correct. Yes, we are not covered by the Department of Health, and we don't recognize anybody who holds an EMT card. It's not required. That's voluntary on their end. You understand?
Okay. Yes. Thank you very much, Chief.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
And that's it, Council President. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilman Burchett. Councilman Coyle.
Thank you, Council President. And again, also, I want to thank you for the Zoom meeting opportunity. I think this is really great for the residents of Edison to be able to see us face-to-face, engage in real time if that's possible. I hope there's a delay in comments, which I'm sure it's going to be. I'm looking forward to that. And Council President, I thank you for your leadership in this meeting. This meeting is going fast and straightforward. And today, I have to agree with every point you're making, and it's going very well. The few things I have on my agenda was I had a discussion just to bring up. I'm not expecting to have an understanding, a complete understanding of the direction, but I'd like to propose a COVID-19 memorial for Edison, for those who have sacrificed on the front lines, saving lives, and for those who we've lost. I'm just requesting to the Council President just a discussion this week where we can consider a location and a design and a budget. I'm certain we can get some private donations. In the past, we did a 9/11 memorial, which was done through Councilman Krushak and Councilman Barnes and Tamaro, which was well done. So I just wanted to review the opportunity to the residents of Edison and frontline workers. I also wanted to discuss, in the past we have received grants to purchase property for our green acres and our open space. We have a few locations that have started to become a maintenance issue. And today, we have 2 properties I'm concerned with, which is the Environmental Commission home up in North Edison, across from the Edison wetlands, and the new property, the Ferranti property. What I'm asking to the Council President is if we can have a discussion and perhaps appoint a committee to have a steward take care of those properties. As we, take on these great opportunities, they come with maintenance, and they come with neighbors that will complain of vandalism and so forth. There could be an opportunity where we have a steward who would live in the property for a reasonable rate and as residential, and they can keep the property with upkeep, but more important, be in the house so there's no vandalism. This is something that I think is really important. I think our DPW and our Parks Department has got plenty on their hands as it is, but to maintain a home, and 2 homes, it's a lot of work. And more important, the vandalism that comes with it. That's the biggest challenge. And then a great home gets destroyed, and a great home starts to have problems which lead to crimes, graffiti, and other issues we just don't have to face. So, and I'm not expecting us to have someone to pay a market rent. Maybe the condition could be that they maintain the property. Perhaps it could be someone in the green environment, maybe someone from a bee organization, maybe someone from an environmental organization. It's just something to propose, to consider for discussion. Other things I wanted to bring up was the landfill committee. If I can know when our next meeting is, and just have a report, not today, but in the near future, of where we stand and where we are with the landfill committee. That's all I have right now, Council President. And also, I just want to thank the administration for a wonderful Memorial Day service. We had, it was wonderful to see what came together, and I thought, everything went well. And thank you for the administration, Parks and DPW putting things together, and the fire department attending as well, and the police. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman Coyle. Councilmember Deal. Any discussion items?
No, ma'am, not at this time. Just to thank the people who are working through this healthcare crisis that we're all experiencing. I get the numbers every day. Everybody's really doing a good job, and I can't say enough about what everybody's doing. Thank you. That's all I have now.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Gomez.
Yes, Council President. I just wanted to take this opportunity again to thank everybody who made the Memorial Day ceremonies possible, the mayor and police who escorted everybody throughout the town and the different locations. But I think to the point that you made out earlier is you had a good number of people come out and support that, which was great considering the situations that we're in. But I think tagging on to Councilman Deal's point, it's a progression that we're doing it slowly, but we got willing, get to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and we want to thank everybody for being patient. It is a difficult situation, and it's every day that goes by, we're hurt by those who are being impacted directly by the virus, but also those that are in the front line battling it every day, and those people that show up day in and day out to work, all our employees. So I just wanted to take that opportunity to really express my gratitude and support for what's being done, and everybody at all levels, the state level, at the federal level, that are helping us get through this in a safe and responsible manner to the degree that we can control it, right? So it's just we kind of have to step back and really appreciate all the people that are in the front line helping us battle through this. So that's just another point that I wanted to make. And then second point, just not really to continue on the sewer discussion, but and not to agree or disagree with individual points, but more just to point out, and obviously I'm going to be supporting it because the sewer capital plan, I think that it was presented by the independent engineers, was going to be in the vicinity of $300 million. It's no secret that the age of our sewer is very old and it's not in great shape, and we're seeing it not only through the maintenance of exceeding over $1 million a year every time that we have a pipe burst, but other ongoing issues. We went through Superstorm Sandy and Hurricane Irene, and even though we don't know probably specifically where some of these areas are and how much of it, the NCUA charges were very clear that they spiked up, so we know that we have the sewer filtration. But again, these are all things that we know. It's a massive plan. We're not going to be able to do it all in 1 year. The administration, the mayor had different ideas of how we could get to it a little quicker. But no matter how you look at it, it wasn't going to be something that was going to be done overnight. And I think the one thing that we need to remember, part of the issue has been that it's deteriorated so bad is because it's been neglected for so long. And the one thing that I ask everybody to consider is that we need to keep improvement going forward, not only from a maintenance perspective, obviously, but just trying to push this in the right direction to put a dent into the system. And we're going to need to do that. And yes, we're metering more. We are doing, a lot more studying into the system. We have to learn still a lot more of it. There was limited amount of information while all these studies were being done. But at the end of the day, we need to take a step to continue to move this forward. And any time that we stand still, it's just a delay in the progression that we get to make. So, I appreciate everybody's comments and perspective, but being here long enough to have seen it go through the natural disasters that we've encountered, and I call them natural disasters because many people were impacted by it. It is a problem that we have, and it's a big problem, and it's only going to get worse, so we need to try to get at least one step in front of it to try to address that issue. So, just kind of think of it from that perspective. But moving on, that's all the comments that I have, discussion items that I have for today. Thank you, and that's all I have. Thank you.
Very much, Councilmember Gomez. Councilmember Joshi.
Yes, Council President, there's two things. The first, I'd like to add to the agenda an anti-hate resolution. I don't know what number it is, though.
We have to give we have to give it a number.
It would be, do you want to add to the agenda the COVID resolution that you circulated to everyone?
Yes.
Okay. The number would be 275-052020. We'll add it to consent agenda.
Well, you need a vote on that. I guess, I think the way we did it last week was we made a motion once we were in the regular meeting. It was a second, there was a vote to add it, and then there was a vote, on the agenda, whether it's part of consent or if it's part of, individual. So I think we should keep the procedure consistent.
All right.
Okay.
So once we start the regular meeting, Councilmember Joshi will at that time be able to make a motion to add it to the regular agenda, to our regular meeting agenda. All right.
And there was also a second thing that I wanted to discuss. Optimum. Optimum is, I can't tell you, in the last week, I know that there have been outages, repeated outages since our last council meeting and even all of last week, where Optimum is not working in parts of the township or it keeps breaking up. The reason why I bring this up is because, one, it's important to know that there is no competition within the township. So it's not like we, the council, or the mayor's office has the ability to bring in another company if they don't want to come here. But my solution that I've been saying for several months now is municipal broadband internet. It is creating a utility, an internet utility. It has been done in about 25 other areas across the United States. I've spoken to those directors directly. I've spoken to the largest systems and some of the smaller system directors. It ends up becoming the second largest revenue generator for the municipality. I mean, the way that our taxes is a huge problem in Edison Township. And in order to offset it, we can keep this money in-house. We can use the money that we get from internet towards other bills that we have, and we can actually start bringing taxes, and we can actually make them stable. We haven't thought of any other idea that stabilizes property taxes in this large of a magnitude. And I implore my other council members to also look up, or anyone that's following, anyone that's listening, that watches this, look up what municipal broadband internet is. we are spending, as a township, more than $20 million every single year goes to Optimum. We dish that money over, and we really don't get anything out of it. And on top of that, their service is horrible. We can be getting internet at one-fourth of the cost, and it's 10 times the speed. When I spoke to the other municipalities across the country, they gave me examples of their financials. They're patting in 65% profits into their premiums, and it is still cheaper than what we are paying here. So and I know that people have said, well, what about other issues that we have? For the average resident to be paying a couple $1,000s, if you can get 10% off or 20% off your tax bill, it's equivalent to getting the same dollar amount off of your Optimum bill. And on top of that, this is an investment. It would be faster internet, the service would be better, and I asked for, I would need 4 council members as well as the mayor to also approve this. Municipal broadband internet is definitely the solution to many of our problems, and I implore everyone to look at it. Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Council President, this is Councilman Brescher. Yes, I'd just like to comment, because we talked about this, and Councilman Joshi knows that I do support doing something with it. He was going to get together and get some numbers together on this bringing broadband in. And I believe that this committee was supposed to meet, and I don't believe that the committee has met yet, to kind of look at that, because I know somebody brought up concerns of, in one of the towns, they put it in and then they sold it to the cable provider or something. So, yeah, I'm very interested in, getting these numbers together and looking at them. So as soon as that committee or Councilman Joshi has something together, I'd love to look at that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
There's no on this. I've just been vocal on it, and I've done independent research on it. A lot of it is in my emails. I can gladly forward it to you. I can show you what, the city of Chattanooga, Tennessee, for example, or in Colorado or in Oregon, what they've done. I've spoken to these directors. They've shown me the numbers. It really ends up being the second largest revenue generator in each of these municipalities.
Right, but that's something that you or me wouldn't come up with, right? We would need someone to kind of come up with a plan to do this. So we, and I don't know, I'm going to throw the word mazer out there. I mean, I'm assuming an engineer, but maybe an engineer that's related to, IT type work.
Excuse me, sir. Can you guys have a meeting? Can you guys have a committee meeting? I know we've been slow with committee meetings because of COVID. And if Councilman Brescher and Councilman Joshi and some other people from the committee could get together and they can give us a comprehensive plan that we can look at, therefore we can discuss it in detail, and it won't be just a conversation going one way, I would appreciate that 100%. Thank you.
I can do that.
Next member, Councilmember Patel.
Thank you, Council President. I have 2 line items. The two Council President question to Maureen. Do we know the fall cleanup date? Any tentative timing?
I didn't hear. Excuse me, repeat that again.
For the fall cleanup, question is to Maureen. Do we have any tentative date?
Whose phone is going off? I'm sorry, somebody's phone is going off, and somebody didn't mute their phone, so it's making. I apologize, Councilmember Patel. All right. Is everybody have their stuff muted when somebody else talks? Thank you. Go ahead.
Council President, Councilman Patel is asking about the spring cleanup. We don't have the date yet, but we're actually formulating one.
Okay. All right.
As soon as I know, we'll give people plenty of notice.
Okay. And my second question is for the Outdoor Sports League. Are we going to have any kind of executive order from the mayor if we are going to allow the outdoor sports?
Okay. That's for you, Maureen, not for me.
To my knowledge right now, the organized outdoor sports are only for major league teams. We do not have any direction yet from the governor, but we watch, the executive orders every day, and when it's allowed, the township will allow it.
I think there is the governor did tweet that the outdoor major leagues are allowed to play sports, so that's the reason I asked the question.
I have the same questions you have, Councilman Patil, but as our governor sets out different things, I seen one thing that I seen that was a plus, that they may be able to have graduations outside in July. I haven't heard anything about the local teams or different people playing, so we're just playing it by ear at this particular time because, as you know, the governor has the final say, not Mayor Lanke, because when the governor lets us know he wants to move it slowly. He doesn't want us to open up too quickly, then have a heavy setback, so we're trying to just go along, and I understand I understand the student, I understand everybody because I'm an outdoors person. So, but we just have to play it by ear now. So hopefully if our numbers stay down during the month of June, we may be able to move along in July and August. I'm hoping that. I got my fingers crossed.
Okay, thank you, Maureen. I will read one line here, what Governor tweeted. Professional sports team in New Jersey may return to training and even competition if their leagues choose to move in that direction. So these leagues will be waiting the direction from the township.
Maureen, maybe I can hop in. You want me to? Councilman Patil, we went over that tape because we got people emailing about basketball, cricket, and everything else. We reviewed the order and we spoke with the county about it. It doesn't cover those sports as of yet, but as soon as they do, we will let the public know as soon as possible.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andy.
That's it, Council President.
All right. So everybody go to regular meeting. Okay. I'm supposed to make possible one at all. I got Hold on.
Council President?
Just a second. We're getting ready to start the regular meeting.
I just would like to add a comment.
Do you have one thing to say before we start the regular meeting, sir?
The discussion was redevelopment. Last council meeting, a few council comments, and I discussed the Ibn Avenue project to pull that. The reason behind some of that was several council people wanted to see a few areas brought up to the township for a study of development. With COVID-19 and appeals coming our way for next year and our tax base changing on certain areas, they found it important that we know where our next ratables are coming. And I just want to, to make sure Mr. Northgrave is clear that we could have other sites brought up on the agenda, including Ibn Avenue. Councilman Joshi brought up a few that were important in the past. Council President and I discussed a few. Councilman Fletcher, Councilman Patil. I did not speak to Councilman Deal. However, he's been around, I don't want to say for ages, but he has seen several things come to the plate that were never completed. So I just wanted to put that on the table for discussion because Inman Avenue was supposed to be tabled, but we voted to take it off. And I just want to be clear that we are putting a few up for the next opportunity to be studied for a smart growth plan and where our next ratables could be coming from years to come. A lot of these projects are not going to happen overnight. They're going to take years. But it's time that the town, Edison, looks at certain areas and looks at where the next opportunity could be in smart growth. Nonetheless, a project list that has been brought to my attention by our council colleagues, I just wanted to be clear that we also look at focusing on a proactive measure to the entire town with other committees that have been around an understanding of what is viable for Edison. All right. Because things are going to change. That's all I have, Council President. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think we have like a 2-minute delay.
Yeah, we have to wait.
We have to wait. We have to wait a 2-minute delay. All right.
Anybody hear me? Did the system go down?
No, the system's still working. Just give us one moment.
We're here.
All right, thank you.
Get it now. Okay, right now we're getting ready to. This is a regular meeting starts right now.
No, we're not doing anything right now.
Okay, can I have a motion to introduce the calendar year 2020 municipal budget?
So
Motion to introduce. Second. Councilman Gomez.
Councilman Deal and Councilman Gomez second. Roll call.
Councilmember Brusher.
Yes.
Councilmember Coyle.
So yes.
Councilmember Deal. Councilmember Gomez.
Yes.
Councilmember Joshi.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes, for introduction.
Council President Chip Freeman.
Yes.
The public hearing on the budget will be on June 29th at 6 o'clock at Middlesex County College Performing Arts Center.
Does everyone have that written down?
I'll send out an email. We'll be confirming it'll be at the
Okay. Motion is the calendar year of 2020 solid waste budget. Motion to introduce.
So move. Gomez.
second, Bob Deal.
Deal, Gomez, roll call.
Councilmember Brusher.
Yes.
Councilmember Coyle.
Yes, to introduce.
Councilmember Dion?
Yes.
Councilmember Gomez?
Yes.
Councilmember Joshi?
Yes.
Councilmember Patil?
Yes, to introduce.
Council President Chip Freeman?
Yes.
Okay, that also public hearing will be on June 29th at 6 o'clock at Middlesex County College Performing Arts Center.
Okay, now we're on number 18. That would be unfinished business. The clerk could read 2069.
This ordinance amends the Township Code to revise and update the 2020 per gallon water rates, and the Township charges residential and non-residential users for the discharge of normal domestic sewer, and the rates charge significant industrial users of the Township sewer system.
We have to open for the public. I have to read an open public submission from the public. I urge, Frank Lanky, Wednesday, May 27, 2020, 6:47 p.m. 2069. Comment. I urge Councilman Brescher, Councilman Patil, and Councilman Coyle to support and vote yes on the sewage rates being proposed in 2069. To your concerns about the sewage system, why did you not address these issues when you and your peers set up this utility per your anti-Suez campaign? Why are you now all acting like any other politician who takes advantage of a public sentiment but then never wants to fully fund their own creations? Shame on you, 3, if any of you vote no. It has nothing to do with the best of the township. It has to do with what's best for me to sound good on Facebook. Frank Mackey, Beautification Place, Edison, New Jersey. My views and comments are my own as an Edison voter and resident. Thank you. I only received 1.
Council President, I'd like to address that comment.
Yes.
Of course you do.
I would like Mr. Lanky to understand that 2 weeks ago, I said that I needed the information. And it took until last Thursday to get me the information for me to look at it and digest it. And what I refuse to be is just to be a rubber stamp and approve something that hasn't been, vetted and questioned. So until I have the opportunity to do that, I cannot in good conscience vote for it. Thank you, Council President.
Okay, I wanted to make sure that you answered to all his concerns, because he said when you and your peers set up this utility for your anti-Suez campaign, he said that why weren't these addressed at that time? I just want to make sure he gets all the right answers that he wants.
Okay. Then yes, Mr. Lanky, since you're not familiar with how government runs, typically it's the administration's job to run the township. There were questions with the Suez. Most of it pertained really to the financing aspect of it. The other question was that what work needed to be done was not shown in our original engineering for the sewers. There was a lot of work, but most of the stuff on the sewers was only shown to be pump station work, because they actually never did a investigation into the sewers to see where the leaking was happening. So I wasn't part of that committee. I would have liked to have seen the administration and the mayor continue that committee so that the committee would have made the recommendations to the council to say, yes, this is a good plan, this is what we need to do. But that committee was disbanded either by the mayor or the administration. I'm not really sure which. In fact, I'd like to ask the administration if they could reform that committee to do this due diligence.
Councilman Brescher, I spoke to the director, and he told me if I or any council member wanted a tour of all the facilities and all the broken pumps. I mean, all the total mess that we have going on here in town. He said he would be more than happy. So, Councilman Brescher, if you call the director, Bob Smith, tomorrow, I'm sure that he will walk you through everything, because he promised me that anyone who wanted to see, he would be more than willing to make sure they were able to view all the things that were done. And they said they had I don't know, like 100-page, some type of study, whatever. I wasn't on the committee. I'm like you. I wasn't on the committee, but I wasn't even on the council. I was just a thought. But Bob Smith, he assured me, Councilman Brescher, tomorrow you may call him, and I believe that he will set up something for you to look at everything.
Very good. Thank you, Council President.
Council President, just want to add on what Councilman Brescher said. As he rightly said, this committee was literally, I don't know, I would not use the word disbanded or closed, but this committee was terminated during, I believe it was November timeframe, late October, early November, and that's the time the new water director was hired. The committee never got any plan of the future direction. In fact, the committee had questioned a lot of the decisions that came from the administration in terms of the funding the infrastructure project, and I believe those questions were never answered. So to put the blame and use the word committee, it's inappropriate. The second thing is, we all keep talking about our water and sewer infrastructure, and it is not in great shape, and etc. We know that our current mayor, it is his 7th year, right? This administration, Maureen, is there for the last 12 years. So everyone knows about the infrastructure situation. There was never, ever a report, a comprehensive report that was submitted to the council with line-by-line item. There was no presentation saying what is wrong, what needs to be done, what's our future plan, with the dates, investment requirement, all that stuff. Every year we discuss about this issue when there is a tax increase. And that's the biggest problem. So Mr. Junior Lanke, you should discuss that with Senior Lanke, that what did we do in the last 7 years? And what is the plan for next year and a half? Thank you.
Excuse me, Maureen, is there a 500-page study that I've told that was from
2018, maybe?
In 2018, whoever that company is, I don't want to say the name incorrectly. Just asking.
Yes. Mark McDonald, there was a wastewater report and a water report.
And that was in 2018, wasn't it?
What year was that in that you did the 5-page report?
I believe it was 2017 into 2018.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
You're right. There was a report, and that report was solely done to get the sewage in. So that report was tailored towards the sewage deal, and I wouldn't comment further on that. But I would prefer the administration comes back and present the systematic plan to this council before asking for any increase in the tax. Thank you.
Thank you.
Council President, can I ask a question about this?
Yes.
Do we have our sewer person on the line to see if maybe he can answer a question?
Yes, we have the director on the line, and we have the author of the report on the line.
Okay. My question is, because we've seen the sewer stuff, right? So we need work to pump stations, and we need work to our pipes in the ground. Now, I'd like him just to confirm that he has very good estimates on what is needed for our pump station. Is that true?
Well, this is Bob Smith. In our 5-year capital, we've addressed our biggest needs right away. We have to do corrections to the pump stations
when I toured the pump stations, I got to say they're in deplorable conditions. And these are probably the worst pump stations I've ever had to deal with. Presently, we have 3 pump stations on bypass because our pumps are not capable of pumping the sewage from the stations. We are under basically an order from MCUA. We have to send in monthly reports on what we're doing on I&I and corrections and capital improvements to the system. If we do not show progress in each one of those quarterly reports, they will not give us any further treatment works approvals. That means they will not accept any other sewage flow from any other industry, commercial building, so on and so forth from the Township of Edison. We have spoken to Mott McDonald for an I&I study from a company who specializes in that. That cost would probably over putting in flow meters and televising everything is probably going to be over $1 million. I'd like to try to do some in-house internally if we can. We are very short on staff. We are short on equipment. We are in dire need to get this sewer system rectified as soon as we can. We already have an administrative order from the NJDEP on a notice of civil administration penalty from 2018. We know we have major issues at pump stations. We have a force main that could be a major problem to us in the very near future. There are things that we really need to address right away. The forged pump station is our biggest issue.
Mr. Smith, I guess let me just ask a couple questions. You know that you need work on your pump stations, and you know you have work on your force main. Do you have a number of approximately what that work is at the end of the day? You have that number, correct?
Yes, we have the 5-year capital plan that we submitted.
Okay, now with that, I believe the number was something like $30 million or something. The rest of the money that Suez was going to put in they were going to put into our actual sewer piping where you have your water infiltration. But with that, you haven't put any cameras around to find out what we have and where it's coming from or anything at this point yet, right?
No, we have. With the limited staff we have, yes, we are out cleaning the lines, then we televise the lines. We found multiple lines with roots through them. We've cut the roots out to the best of our ability. We've added chemicals. We're doing as much as we can with the staff we have. We only have, including the supervisor, a total of 9 people from a staff that used to be at 22 people. We are not a proactive department anymore. We're just reactive. We just don't have the manpower to physically do all the work necessary.
Now, let me ask you a question. So we have to put cameras in these systems to see what we have. What percentage over the course of the township has been viewed with these cameras at this point?
I can tell you since I've been here, only probably 10-15%. You're talking, we have over 300 miles.
Yes, I understand.
I mean, it's a big undertaking. It's a big task. We're doing the best we can with the staff we have at the present moment.
So then by this time next year, technically we would have ran cameras through all of our sewers, correct?
I don't think that would be a possibility based, they TV some days and then they get pulled off to do other things. It's not where we can consistently put one crew out there and that's all they do is clean and televise. They do that basically when they have an opportunity, an open moment, when they don't have an issue that they're dealing with.
Okay, but we did roughly 15% of our sewers in 3 months.
It's more like 6 months.
Okay. I thought that we just started the sewer department in January, that, you were kind of in and getting that up and running.
The sewer department is run in the Township of Edison its entire life.
Yes, but since you've been here, I thought that you were starting all of that and getting up and running in January. So when I did January, I assumed that he probably got underway in February. So he had February, March, and April. I'm just trying to get a timeline on that 15%, so then with your staff, we know when you'll get to the end of this.
Excuse me. Bob, do you have a paper written out and everything with that timeline on it? So you could just send it to us, we can go over the timeline together, then we can, move this further along. You know what I mean?
Council President.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much. Okay. All right, so now, we already read the public comment. We only had one public comment. Okay. So are we
Any other
ready?
council comments on that?
Any other council comments before we take a vote?
Council President, I'd like to motion to pull 2069.
Oh, wait, excuse me first. I got to close the public portion.
Okay.
What does he say now?
He wants to. I close the public portion. Now, all right. Now we can do that, Councilman Joshi. What do you want to do?
I'd like to table 2069 ordinance.
You're making a motion to table?
Correct.
I'll second.
Roll call. Councilmember Brusher.
This moves to table, correct?
Yes.
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 Councilmember Coyle.
Yes, to table.
Councilmember Deal.
No.
Councilmember Gomez.
No.
Councilmember Joshi.
Yeah.
He said no.
He said no?
Said no?
I said not to table.
Yes
Wait,
to table or no?
you're not clear. Wait. Councilman Joshi, could you just give us your vote again? Because I heard two things. So let's make it real clear. Is yes or no to table?
I'm motioning to table 2069.
There's a vote now. Cheryl, hold on. We're having the vote now. Is your vote to table yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Good. Sorry.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes, to table.
Council President Chip Freeman.
No, not the table at this time. No. I don't know. Coyle said yes.
He said yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So we have, all right.
So we have
It's table.
Ordinance 2069-2020 is now tabled. We'll call you. Keep your phone on. Okay.
Now we have new business. Clerk, please read.
This ordinance is to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank. Do I have a
Motion to introduce.
So move. Councilman Gomez.
Second.
Second, Councilman Patil.
Councilman Patil.
Second. Okay. Yeah, there is an echo.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take a roll call vote. Councilman Brusher.
Echo.
Why is it echoing?
I don't.
Hi, Bob Deal. Yes, it's over.
Hey.
Well, you know what happened with Mr. Coe, the booster? I thought it was a nice idea to send it out to us.
What? Something's wrong. Is everyone there?
Yeah, yep, we're there.
I'm here. Motion. The second on the introduction of ordinance 2070, which I read is the cap bank. Now I'm going to take the roll call. Councilmember Brescher.
Yes.
Councilmember Coyle.
Yes, introduce.
Councilmember Dio.
Yes.
Councilmember Gomez.
Yes.
Councilmember Joshi.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel.
Yes.
Council President Chip Freeman.
Yes.
All right.
Okay,
Can I
public
suggest
comment.
something? I would imagine the echo is probably being caused by somebody not being on mute. So maybe all of us who aren't talking, if we just put our phones on mute, hopefully it'll take care of the echo.
Hello?
Sounds better.
We're all here, Council President.
Okay.
Just somebody's phone was causing an echo.
Okay, the echo subsided now. Thank you very much.
Now you got to open the public on resolution.
Open to the public? Yeah, on resolution.
Is there any submissions on?
Closing the public portion on resolutions.
We need a motion.
Oh, I need a motion. I'm sorry. I need a motion to close the public portion on resolutions.
Motion, Councilman Coyle.
Second,
Councilman Gomez.
Okay. All in favor? All right. The ayes have it. So may it be. All right.
Now, Councilman Joshi at this time.
Any resolution to pull for a separate vote at this particular time?
Council President,
Yes.
I would like to pull 271.
Okay.
But Mr. Brescher wanted to pull 261, I believe, to table.
That's correct.
But let's just take them one at a time, because Councilman Joshi wants to add a resolution as well. But I figure let's get the list of who wants to pull, then we can add, and then we can vote on whatever's left.
Okay, Councilman Joshi wants to add.
So wait. Well, we had Councilman Deal pull 271 and Councilman Brescher's pulling 261.
Okay.
And now Councilman Joshi would, all right, so then we're done with the poll for separate vote. Now Councilman Joshi wanted to add.
275.
We want to add the COVID-19
275.
and it would be number 275 to add to the agenda, so I need to take a vote to add it. So you're going to make the motion to add?
Can I get a second?
Second, Councilman Coyle.
Okay.
Second, Councilman Coyle. All right.
So this vote is just to add to the consent agenda?
Okay.
Councilmember Brescher.
Yes.
Councilmember Coyle.
Yes.
Councilmember Deal.
Question. I need to know what we are adding.
We are adding the
anti-hate COVID,
the COVID resolution that Councilman Joshi proposed and he circulated to everyone.
Yes to add.
This is just it. Okay. Councilmember Gomez.
Yes.
Councilmember Joshi.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Council President Chip Freeman.
Yes.
Okay, so this will now be added to the consent agenda.
Okay.
And it will be number 275.
Okay. Any other resolution would someone like to pull? Yes.
Council President, I have a question. Is that one open for discussion at this point?
We have haven't gotten to it yet. We wait till after we pull it off. It's going to be, I don't know.
We discuss it, but we edit it.
Now that we added it, you can discuss it.
Okay. Once we get to the vote either way.
Right. Is that discussion take place when we get to that vote, or do we have that discussion now that we voted to add it?
Council
You normally
President,
have it when you get to the vote.
Council President, may I suggest that if it's added to the agenda, that we vote on the consent agenda, and when that is pulled, that we have a discussion on that separate resolution?
Yes. All right. So do they want to pull it for a separate vote?
Okay, you want to pull it for a separate vote so you can speak on it, Councilman Brescher?
Yes, if you could.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. So now the consent agenda will be without 261, 271, and 275. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda without those three resolutions?
So move. Councilman Gomez.
Second.
Second, Councilman
Second, Bob Hill.
All right.
Okay. I'm going to take a roll vote on the consent agenda. You go Patillo, deal. I go Patillo. Councilmember Brescher. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Say yes.
Yes.
Councilmember Coyle.
Yes.
Did you say yes,
He
sir?
said yes.
I
Yeah.
can't hear him.
They need to talk louder.
Councilmember Deal.
Yes.
Councilmember Gomez.
Yes.
Councilmember Joshi.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Council President Chip Freeman.
Yes.
Okay. So now, the first one pulled is 261.
Yes.
That is pulled by Councilmember Brescher, and he wants a motion to table this, is what he said. Are you...
You making a motion to table?
I'm making a motion to table this.
Did I get a second?
Second to table, Coyle.
Coyle, second.
Okay. Roll call vote. This is a motion to table Resolution 261052020, and this is the resolution providing the terms of acceptance to the improvements under the bid for Mini BBL, the final payment, so everyone's aware what they're voting on. Councilmember Brescher.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Councilmember, this is yes to table. Councilmember Coyle.
Yes to table, just to verify the improvements.
Councilmember Deal. Councilmember Deal, you there?
Councilmember Dill.
No.
Oh, he said no.
Councilmember Gomez.
No table.
Okay, Councilmember Gomez.
No to table.
Councilmember Joshi.
This is to verify that the work was done, correct?
Well, that's what
Yeah.
the motion is to table, and Joe said he wants it.
I'll vote yes to table.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes to table.
Council President Chip Freeman.
No.
Okay, there's 4 yeses, so it's tabled. 261 is tabled. And the next one is 271. This is resolutions appointing members to the Open Space Advisory Committee. Councilman Deal pulled this for separate vote.
Yes. Council President,
Yes.
this is the resolution to appoint the Open Space Committee members,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
I just want to take this opportunity, as I have for many years, to recognize one of the best committees we have in this town. Because I'm going to go back a couple decades and longer, and the job that Walt Stoschel has done, keeping this committee meeting on a regular basis for over 20 years, assessing every parcel of this township, and we know how big it is, and we know how many square miles it is, and we know how many towns border us, and how we have a town in the middle of us, and all the major thoroughfares and highways and interstates that go through us. These done an exceptional job of meeting on a regular basis, and I mean regular, for over 20 years, and looking at and assessing every single parcel of this town, every open space piece, giving us priority lists and recommendations on what we should do to move forward with open space. This town is a better town today because of the work of Walt Stoschel and the other folks on this list tonight. And that's Robert Takish, Frank Greco, Esther Nemitz, Bruce Diamond, Francis Burke, and Walter Schneer. These folks have been on here for a long time doing great work for no pay. They don't run for office. They're not politicians. They're just great residents of Edison, and I want to thank them. I want to congratulate them, and I want to move this forward, please. I make a motion to adopt this resolution.
Council President, it is certainly an honor to second disappointments. As Councilman Deal has said, this is a group of individuals that have a lot of wealth of knowledge and have always been dedicated and acted in the best interest of the town, and it is certainly an honor to vote in favor of this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you. Roll call.
Council President, I agree the same with my council colleagues. I believe most of them have been on this committee through, I believe, 7 mayors and 17 different council people. Bob Deal being the oldest council member today, and even before Bob Deal, Bruce Diamond, Walter Stoschel, Bob Takish, Greco, Esther Nemitz, Bruce Diamond, Francis Burke, Walt Schneer, have done work for free. And if this was a consultant, it would cost us hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars for the work they do. And I'm thankful and commend them for all their hard work. And we've been successful at what they've done, including the last year, the 2 properties we got last year as well, and the Ferranti estate. Thank you, Council President.
Yes, and this is the reason why I am filling up these committees, because we have dedicated people in Edison who want to be a part of these committees, and I see that this term is already ending on December 31st, 2020. I like these dedicated people. We have other dedicated people, and I want everybody to know we have 3 more spaces on there, people who would like to work cooperatively with a great group of people. And we also go to the township website. We also have other committees together, and we would like people like-minded to work together for the good of the town. Thank you. And I applaud, because I've met many members, and matter of fact, I've been in council chambers before being a council person, and have seen most of these people advocate just for Edison. Not for Republican, not for Democrat, not for Independent. They advocated for Edison, and for that, I applaud them. All right, roll call.
Councilmember Brescher.
Yes.
Councilmember Coyle.
Yes.
Councilmember Deal.
Yes.
Councilmember Gomez.
Yes.
Councilmember Joshi.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Council President Chip Freeman.
Yes.
All right, now we have 275. The new Resolution 275. The title of this is a resolution affirming the Township of Edison's commitment to the safety and well-being of all community members and combating hate speech. That's Resolution 275 that we added to the agenda.
Can I get a motion to adopt? Can I get a motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt.
Can I get a second?
Second, Joe Coyle.
Second.
Okay.
And Joe Coyle seconded.
Okay, roll call.
Council President, when were we going to have that discussion that I asked about this one?
Oh, if you want to make a
Discussion should happen now.
Yes.
Correct.
Now, before the vote's done.
Okay. So I seen the new resolution that Sam put out, and I read it, and the only concern I guess I had was we look at certain groups that were severely affected by this COVID-19, and we recognize some, but we didn't recognize all. And I just wanted to add, our seniors and our veterans to it, because we all know what happened over here in Edison with our veterans home. And we've all heard about how a majority of these cases seem to be our seniors that are affected. So, I'd like us to recognize just those two groups, and I'd like to see if we can just have them added to that one section.
Well, Councilman, I do understand what you're saying, but I think that would take away from the actual purpose of the resolution. This is to address hate as it pertains to race, religion, ethnicity. It's not, and I think that by adding different groups that are based off of age groups, you're taking away from that. Now, we can agree to disagree with that, but I think the purpose of this resolution is specifically to address hate towards race, religion, and ethnicity.
Right. I mean, I'll vote for it either way. Either way, I'll vote for it. But the one section where we talk about how certain groups are affected, that's where this ordinance went farther than what I was initially proposing. What I was proposing was really about the hate type of thing. This one here also acknowledges certain groups that have severely suffered. And it's that paragraph that I just wanted to add those two people to. If that wasn't part of it, I get it. But that area there talks about, the loss of life from certain groups. So if that's what that was in there, then I just wanted to add our seniors and our veterans to it.
Yeah.
But either way, I'll vote for it.
Okay. Yeah, I get what you're saying, and the only part that I disagree on is just that it's not like you have people saying, or maybe you do, but I don't think it needs to be in a resolution that, hey, there's a 29-year-old or a 30-year-old, we don't like them because of COVID. I think that this is more pertaining to race, religion, ethnicity, but I respectfully, I understand what you're saying, but I disagree with adding that.
Okay, can we get a roll call?
We're not adding it. Okay. So
Council President?
No.
Council President?
Yes.
I just wanted to thank Councilman Brescher and Councilman Joshi and Councilman Deal for the discussions we had about this ordinance last council meeting. And I think it has been great commentary between all of us and the need for this ordinance. And I think collectively it's really important that this is voted on today. And I just want to thank our council colleagues for measuring what needed to be in this and re-editing what they felt was necessary. And I think it's really important in this time. Thank you, Council President.
And Councilman Coyle, I would like to add that with the Human Relations Committee that we are trying to reestablish in Edison, a lot of this stuff should be from this point on taken care of by them. All the different things that happens in this town, all the different celebrations, all the anti-hate, all the different things that we as a whole, because I know we're a diverse community, but I do not want us to be a segregated, diverse community. I want, and I'm still waiting on people who of good faith, who would like to belong to the Human Relations Committee, which I served on and other people have for years. It's been out of whack for about 9 years, and we're trying to get back to where we were. That's my thing. I am trying to bring this town closer together, sharing everything. Thank you. Now roll call.
Councilmember Brescher.
Yes.
Councilmember Coyle.
Yes.
Councilmember Deal.
Yes.
Councilmember Gomez.
Yes.
Councilmember Joshi.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Council President Chip Freeman.
Yes. And I want to add again, thank you, Councilman Josie, for all the hard work you put into this. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Okay, now we're on to
oral petition and remark. Oh,
yeah, you have to wait.
all right. 2 minutes. Give it 2 minutes.
Yeah, now you have to wait 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
It's home. I'm going to put it on you.
Council President.
All right. Now we're going to open the floor for oral petitions and remarks.
All right, you got it.
Okay.
Council President.
Yes.
Council President. Councilman
Yes.
Joe Coyle. Is the pin 5887 to get onto this meeting? I just want to confirm that with Jim DeVicchio.
Is it for the public?
For the public, yes.
Wait, it's checking.
I can't log on to the public. It worked for me perfect the last 2 times, but it's not letting me log on.
Councilman Coyle, it is 5887.
Okay, I don't know why it's not letting me on. I'll discuss that later. Not a problem. Thank you.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, wait. So now, is there any more, Lane? All right. Are you going to start with the submission?
Yeah. It came in 1017. Oh, man. Yeah.
Oh, these came in. Yeah,
Okay. We had one left over. It came in at 10:17, May 13th. Good evening, Council President. You have displayed more integrity tonight in your short term on council than others have displayed in their long careers. What just happened to you tonight is a painful reminder we still have to talk about real social justice reform across the board. Frank Lanky Jr., Pelican Place, my views are my own. Number 2, public submissions. Elizabeth Conway, Wednesday, May 27, 2020, 1:37 p.m. Will residents of Edison who are seniors with Edison senior IDs not get the increase? What you say, Maureen?
There's no increase for the seniors. It's 0.
Thank you very much. All right.
increased.
Public meeting submission, Eric Romatowski, Wednesday, May 27, 2020, 5:02 p.m. To whom it may concern. Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Eric Romatowski, and I am a resident of 66 Cedar Lane, Highland Park, New Jersey. I am writing this email in concern in opposition of your approval of a new warehouse to be built on Cedar Lane, currently known as 11C Court S. While I understand that all public notices were made and required approvals apparently received, as a current student of urban planning at Rutgers, the process in which this project was approved is a shame, and the testimony provided in support of it is objectionable at best. While I understand approval was required from the county planning board, was any attempt made to contact the elected officials of Highland Park. The first notification that residents or any concerned party had was when trees began to be cleared in the earnest last week. While this will simply be another rateable on Edison tax rolls, the residents of Highland Park will be left to deal with only the negative effects of this project. How a traffic study reports that there will be 34 trucks per hour entering the site without even counting the 300 and 800 car spaces being provided for employees. And that will not create an additional traffic situation on Cedar Lane is laughable at best. Cedar Lane in Highland Park consists of many apartment complexes, some very close to the road and bordering the site, which are filled with young families and small children, in direct conflict with the project located just across the border in Edison. Additionally, I have concerns regarding the amount of newly impervious space this project creates and the associated runoff which will flow into adjacent Mill Brook, which downstream flows directly through the Cedar Lane apartments. This project will change the character of Cedar Lane neighborhood, leaving a permanent and negative impact on the quality of life of its residents again. I find your approval of this warehouse project to be deplorable and short-sighted. Sincerely, Eric Thomas Romatowski, 66 Cedar Lane, Highland Park, New Jersey. That is the end of our public submissions for this week. Any comments before I move to close the public section? Any comments to the what I read, the three? All right. Oh, okay.
Council President. Council President.
Just three things. Just those three things I read.
Oh, I thought you were closing the meeting. I just thought you did an excellent job.
I was closing it, but I was saying if you wanted to respond to the three public submissions, that's all within the scope right now.
Okay. Okay. I was just commenting. You did a great job leading this meeting today. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to close the public portion?
So moved, Bob Deal.
Second. Gomez. All in favor? All opposed? The ayes have it, so may it be. Motion to adjourn. Can I get one?
Motion moved.
Who was it?
Thank you.
Bob Deal? All right.
I think it was 8.
Is it 8? Excuse me. Councilman Patel, was that you?
Yes.
Second.
Was Councilman Patel? Second was Deal.
Okay.
Okay.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Hey. All right, everybody, thank you. It's been a very worthwhile. Thank you very much. Meeting adjourned.
Thank you, Council President.
Good night to all.
Good night.